now from the increase of oxytocin from Shine. Anybody besides me? I'm 2 days in now. Woo! Wow, that is powerful. If you haven't used it yet, you need to get it out right now. I'd like another hit. Every time you guys spray it, I can smell it. And I'm so fired up about that. So thank you so much for being here this entire weekend. Everything that's planned is absolutely geared towards you. And you know, when I learned about this company last year from my dear friend April, she said, David Schmidt's gonna be in Sarasota, 15 minutes from your house in 4 days. You have to drop everything and go. I'm like, I have a girls' weekend planned. She sent me some videos, like the X49 video, right? And of course, I changed my mind quickly, and there I was. And I got to listen to David, and then I got to hear testimonials. But you know what really surprised me when I walked in that room? Probably some things that surprised you guys today. When I looked around at the people, and I felt the energy of the people, and I thought, wow, these people are heart-centered. These people are coming from their heart. I can feel that in the room. How many of you guys can feel that in this room? Can you feel the love? And you didn't even have Shine last year. You didn't have that increase yet, right? But you could feel the love in the room. And I thought, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this movement. And last year, I was 47 years old. And I also looked around and I thought, I'm the youngest person in this room. The average age was 65 to 85. And you know what I thought? I'm surrounded by some wise people, some really wise people that have had a lot of life, and I want to be a part of that. And I want to talk to you guys today about your story. And you heard David talk about some foundations of health. Wow, that was a lot of wonderful information, right? How many of you guys have your day planned out now? Yes. All right, so we're going to talk about authenticity, building your story in an authentic way to you. And I love this. I sat here earlier, and I listened to Jeff speak. You heard Jeff's presentation. Do you guys remember that? Remember the mountain landscape? Okay, you remember the mountain landscape, right? And he talked about being authentic and building your story that way. And he talked about being heart-centered and focused in your heart. And I said, afterwards I left and I grabbed him in the hallway and I said, Jeff, what I'm going to talk about today literally ties in exactly to what you said. I sat in my sauna last week and I downloaded the information for this presentation. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a PowerPoint person. They said, put slides together in a PowerPoint, and I'm like, oh, Lord, I'm going to need some help here. That's just not who I am, right? So I got in the sauna, and I started breathing. I didn't even have Shine yet. And I started breathing deep breaths, and all the information came in. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today, building your story with authenticity. Because we're all very different, but yet we're all very heart-centered and focused and compassionate in our heart and what we do. And we want to go about our day that way, right? Because that's what this is. This is not about, yes, we have the, oh my God, the science, the research, the data, the facts. I'm a closet green reader researcher. I'm a closet nerd, right? I love all that stuff. But it's your heart that's the magnet. It's your heart, your compassion, your caring, your love, your life, your experience, your wisdom that's drawing people to you. And so we're going to talk about a few things, and we're going to do some things. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I used to be a school teacher. Any school teachers in the room? Former school teachers? Yes, I used to teach middle school. Whew. Talk about crazy, 7th and 8th graders. I always come to every single Zoom and I say, trust me, there are no dumb questions. I've heard them all. 10 years in middle school, got them all covered. But we're going to talk about your story and what it means to you. So you're going to get out a notepad. The notepad that LifeWave gave you, that David gave you, you're going to get that out and get your pen out. We're going to do a few things together. I like to be experiential. I like you guys to take things with you. I know as a teacher that the majority of people do not learn by seeing things or listening to things, right? We can stand up here and talk all day. And we can take pictures of slides, right? But I need you to experience it. I need you to have some pen to the paper, because that imprints it into your mind, into your cells. That's why we write, that's why we journal, right? That's why we write and take notes from books. So let's talk about authenticity and what it means to you, being heart-centered in your personality, right? In a state of peace and alignment with your higher self. There's no one person here that's the same as the next person. But yet we all can be very coherent in our heart, right? In our mission. And so being in alignment with yourself first, what does that mean to you? And then being in alignment and heart-centered in this business. How many of you guys feel the collective, the quantum entanglement, right? That collective consciousness in this business and what we're doing? Do you guys feel that? Being in alignment with your mission, with your purpose in life, but then also being in alignment with all of the people in this room and those of you that are virtual. That alignment is powerful. We talk about quantum entanglement. It is a real thing. You hear in the Bible, where two or more come together in my name, it shall be done. Right? That's what we're talking about here. We're coming together for that purpose in this business. And then also heart-centered in the wisdom of feeling with compassion and understanding. Understanding that we all come from a different background. I'm going to share a quick story with you. So my son comes home from school last week, first week of school, and he goes, Mom, some of these kids are crazy, out of control. And I said, buddy, I want to just give you a real quick little tidbit. He's a senior. And I said, 1 out of every 2 children in the state of Florida have been sexually abused. And he goes, what? And I said, yeah, not to mention physically, mentally, emotionally, give him some slack. Not that he's a mean or aggressive or judgmental child by any means. He was just like, Mom, being aware of how out of control 2,500 children are in his high school. There was a lot going on there, and he was shocked. And I said, you have to understand, have some compassion, because you don't know where they came from. We have a conversation the next day in the car. I think he did a full-on dissertation on the society and what's happened with parents and children and work and all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, buddy, that's good. I'm glad you have that level of compassion and understanding. You're going to need that the rest of your life. And so being in alignment with that when we hear people talking about what's going on with them, okay, that's going to be very important. And then we're going to talk about creating your story from your heart. We're going to make a list. You guys have done this, right? How many of you guys make lists to go to the grocery store still? Okay, there are 5 of us moms. Nobody else makes a list still with pen and paper before you walk in the grocery store? I do. So this is your list. What's going on with you in your life, in your health, before LifeWave? Okay, before the X39. Come on, let's be honest. We probably could erase all these things off our list right now. Or maybe if you're brand new, these are things that you're wanting to erase off your list. So I talk about, in my business, your grocery list. Your grocery list of issues, of symptoms, of problems, of things that are bothering you, that you would like to improve upon. So you can write some of these things down on your notepad. Jot them down. Now, remember my topic's building a story in a compliant way? I was like, okay, keywords we cannot say when we're talking about what this technology does. I love that David stood up here earlier and he shared all the things that he's not allowed to say. Did you guys love that? How many of you videoed that? Right? That was fantastic. All the things we can't say. Heal, cure, treat, diagnose. Like, we're going to have to remove those from our vocabulary. Last year at conference, there were a few hundred of us here. How many of you guys were here last year? Look at you guys. Look, they're all sitting up front and right behind me up front, right? We're like, yes, we've got to get up to the front. The people in the front make the most money. Not joking. Right? Yes. Yes. How many of you guys want to be up here? Okay, perfect. We're going to build our story in a compliant way. That's how you get up here. You don't use those words that could get us into trouble, right? We're growing. This year, we're triple what we were last year. What do you think we're going to be next year? How many of you guys are going to be at conference next year? All of us, and you're all going to be up front because this is going to be the front, right? We're going to be in a facility much larger than this next year. I'm so excited about that. And so when we grow, we want to grow in a compliant way. And we want to use words that are compliant. And I woke up about a month ago I'll tell you this. Lori told me back in May when they did an event back in Tampa, Emily and Lori, and she said, hey, we want you to speak at conference. And I'm like, okay, fantastic. And they, we want you to talk about speaking about these products in a compliant way. And I'm like, what? You want me to do what? Okay, so the way I work is just like I said with the sauna. I want to sit down, like David said, and start my morning in prayer and gratitude and breathe and let the information from God come in. When they said put slides together, I'm like, all right, God, they need slides by next week. We're going to need to drop this in a little faster. So I sat in the sauna and I breathed and I just listened. And the information that came in is what I'm going to share with you. But these 4 R's came in right before that. I woke up one morning with the 4 R's. And so I texted him and I'm like, hey, I think I have my idea. I think I have my information. It's the 4 R's. You know, I used to be a reading language arts teacher, you guys. So we built a story on who, what, when, where, why, and sometimes how, right? Who, what, when, where, why. So we're going to build our story on the 4 R's. Repair, restore, rejuvenate, and regenerate, if you can say that. I'm used to saying regeneration. We regenerate. So we're going to talk about the things on this slide right here, or maybe some others that you have, using these words. So I want you to make some notes next to some of these words. Has anyone in here had a restoration in their quality of sleep? Has anybody's sleep quality been restored? How about restoration in your mental clarity? Has anybody had, if you look at this next slide on rejuvenation, give new energy or vigor? How many of you had more energy and vigor, rejuvenation in your energy and vitality? Right? How about stamina? Anybody have an improvement in your stamina? Stamina restored? We all had it when we were young, right? We had those things, so basically all of these could be restored. Look at regeneration, though. Regenerate. In particular, the formation of new animal or plant tissue. What did David talk about earlier with lobsters, ants? For me personally, the queen bee versus the worker bee, the queen ant versus the worker ant, right? When he shared that last year when I met him that day in May, I thought that's what I'm talking about, nature. I'm all about longevity and prevention and vitality and regeneration. Regenerate your body. We know our organs do that anyways, right? You guys know that, right? They do that. We're like a whole new person every, 7 years? So we regenerate, but regenerating on a much faster scale to be able to improve the inflammation in our body, right? How about skin? Age spots, wrinkles, fine lines. Some of you guys I don't even recognize. And it's only been 15 months for me because of what's happened to you in this technology. So I want you to take a little bit of time right now and write some of these things down. I want you to use some of these key words. And I want to share with you, for me personally, when I found this technology, stem cell was not new to me. I have been researching stem cells for 20 years. I banked both of my kids' cord blood when that was not a thing. When I got saw a little TV show one day randomly when I was pregnant with my daughter about, they were literally curing African American children of sickle cell anemia with donor stem cells. And I went, what? That's amazing. Had no idea. Then, now this is back before display marketing and advertising. We had no cell phones that, thought your thoughts and then sent you stuff, right? I got a postcard in the mail. Do you guys remember postcards? I got a postcard in the mail, and it asked me if I wanted them to send me a packet, a folder of information on banking my children's cord blood from a company called Viacord. Of course, I filled it out and mailed it in, and they actually sent me the information. So I get the information. I'm like, absolutely, we're doing this. It was $2,500 20 years ago. My husband thought we were crazy. I'm like, we're doing it. I don't even know, but this is a God thing. I don't watch TV. This show was on randomly one day that I wasn't watching. I don't know how I got it. And then this postcard came in the mail, and then this information, we're banking. So both of our kids' cord blood's in cryo facility in Cincinnati, Ohio. And then after everything that happened with my daughter, many of you know my story, when she was 4 years old and misdiagnosis with cancer after cancer and a year in the hospital, brain bleed, coma, coding, everything else. We got into stem cell therapy, of course. It was the first thing I wanted was to give her cord blood back, and they wouldn't do it. I couldn't find a facility to actually do it at the time. And we got into all different types of stem cell therapy. Hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy. This woman right here has spent 62 dives in a chamber 16 feet below with Taylor sitting next to me. Literally spent 4 months in a facility in Cincinnati, Ohio. Done that, experienced that, amazing. We've been in and out of this country doing different types of stem cell therapy for over 10 years. So my story, speaking from where I came from, is definitely one about repair. Repair for my daughter, repair for her brain, for her cells, her tissues, her organs, restoring her functionality, rejuvenating her body, her brain, and regenerating. And I'll tell you guys, in 15 years of therapy with that child, everything under the sun, some of her therapists from 15 years ago are in the room right now. 15 years of everything under the sun I could get my hands on and find. Never produced what this technology produced for her in 12 months. Nothing. Nothing. And we spent over $1 million out of pocket over those 15 years. And this is the price of a cup of coffee. This repaired her brain. This restored her youth, her vigor, her vitality, her communication. This rejuvenated her body, her hormones, her systems improved in every single way over the course of that 12 months, that year. More so that we had the best year of life with her out of those 15 years. And so I'm here today, standing here because of her journey, her story, and I am who I am today because of that. And I'm here to tell you that you have to be you. Whatever your story is, that is what you speak to. That is where you come from, right? Use that heart, because people feel that. They feel you. And I know, David said earlier, you guys could probably sell anything to anybody, right? Or maybe Jeff said that, I can't remember. But we could sell anything to anybody if we love it. We are committed to it. We're passionate. We have an experience. But I'm going to tell you that that feeling is literally the magnet that brings people to you. People ask me all the time, how do you build this business? How do you do this? I take time with that list in the morning. The water, the exercise, the prayer, the quiet time, the planning, right? I looked at my husband when it said snacks. I was like, do you hear that? You need to be prepared with your snacks. Or I need to be better prepared, I guess, to have the right things in the refrigerator for you to eat, and you need to go for those. I don't know. But that story that you have is what's going out to the world if you're open to it. And a lot of times we get caught up in the what ifs, or what do people think? I don't want to share because of what someone may think about me. But I'm going to tell you right now, if April Vaughn wouldn't have shared this with me, I wouldn't be here. And we wouldn't have had the best year that we had with our daughter before she passed away back in May. So I want to leave you with this. Your story is powerful. And I want you to take some time later today to share that story on paper and get it down, what you want to say in a compliant way, so that when you go out and share this, your personal, authentic story with people, you're the magnet that's drawing the people in. David talks about 1 billion lives being changed. $1 billion company, fantastic. But doing that means we're going to impact 1 billion lives. And that's what we're about. And our collective consciousness, we are all entangled here this weekend for the higher good, correct? And that is what we're going to go out and do with our stories. So thank you all for being here today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I love you all, and I can't wait to give you all hugs.